So this next section is on creating citations. And if you'll turn to page WD 103, your reference on creating citations is very important for you to read through. So make sure that you read it. It'll give you some tips on things that you need to be aware of that can help you. So to get started, we're going to go down to the section to select a style for the citation and bibliography. To begin with, we're going to click on the References tab, because that's where our citations and bibliography group is. And we're going to check out, you have to choose a style, okay, because it uses that to do all your changes with as far as your citations and your bibliography. So we have different styles such as the APA that we've talked about, Chicago, several others, and MLA is the one that we're going to be using for this. So we're using MLA 7th edition. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look for the section where we want to put our first citation. So we're going to use the Control F, okay, to bring up our navigation. All right, and I want you to type in "as at least one historian." Okay, that's on page 103, number 4. Under to select a style for the citation and bibliography. That's "as at least one historian." And that'll take you down to the section where we need to place the citation. So we're going to click between the G and the period, look for the last word in the sentence standing, and click between the G and the period. Okay, and then we're going to close our navigation. Okay. Alright, so make sure you've got it in the right location where you want to put the citation. Otherwise, it's going to put it someplace else in the document. Okay, so we turn over to WD 104. Okay, and the very first citation that we're going to put in, we have to add the source because it's not in there. Now, me personally, I add all my sources through manage sources and then insert my citations. So you can do it either the way in the book or do it the other way. So it's up to you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is click on, we're going to follow the book since they've got it typed up this way. Insert citation and add new source. Okay, now this first source is, you have to select the type of source. Okay, and if you click on the right down arrow key, you'll notice that we have book, journal, report. We have all kinds of things we can choose from. Website's a big one. Okay, art, electronic source, etc. But this first one is actually from a book. All right, and then we're going to click and type in the author, okay, which is Roy Brauer, B-R-A-U-E-R. You want to make sure that you spell it correctly. All right, and you can tab to the next one, which is title, or you can click down here to title. And we're going to type in settlements and monuments in Neolithic architecture. You notice that we type this in proper format, capital S for settlements, capital M for monuments, etc. Okay, if we were doing this in APA, it's only the first letter of the actual title of the book that would get capitalized. Everything else is lowercase. But for MLA, all will show in uppercase, first letters. The year is 2010. Make sure your numlock's on if you're typing with your keypad. Okay, city, all right, New York. And publisher is Brookstone. and Cole Scott, oops, too many T's, Academy Press. And our medium is print, since it's a book. Okay, so once you get that typed in, you're going to click OK or press enter. Alright, and if you'll notice right here, it puts in his last name. Okay, now if you turn back a couple of pages, alright, to page WD101, alright, there's MLA guidelines for citing a book or journal. Okay, if you'll notice, if the sentence includes the author's name, the citation should only include the page number. Okay, but if the sentence does not include the author's name, the citation should include the author's name and the page number. Okay, so we're wanting to also put in, edit this, and we're going to put in the page number because it doesn't say anything about Brower in the sentence. Okay, so in the citation, we're going to select it by clicking on it, and it appears in a content control box. Okay, and you'll notice that there is a tab on the left, okay, and an arrow button on the right. Okay, this is called a citation options button. Alright, so what we want to do is click on the down arrow key and then edit the citation. Okay, it'll automatically pop up what we need to work on. So it's going to ask us for what page we want to add. Okay, so we want to quote that this part of this text came from page 37. Okay, we wanted to suppress the author, the year, or the title. We could do that, but right now we're just not needing to do it, and so we're going to click on OK. If you notice, it brings it up in the format of MLA, and it can be found in the book created by Brower on page 37. So if somebody was wanting to look this up, they could find it. Okay, now we're going to insert 2 more citations. Alright, so we're going to scroll up to display the last paragraph on page 1. Okay, and we're looking for according to Alicia Garland. I'm on page 2. Okay, according to Alicia Garland, and we want to be between the word animals and the period, right there, not on top of the period, but between. Alright, so we're going to cite her work. Okay, so we're going to insert citation. Okay, now Roy Brewer is listed now. Okay, we're going to add new source because we haven't worked with hers before, and this time we got her information from a journal article. So the author, as we're going to list it, it's at this is all on page WD 106 to insert 2 more citations. So we're going to type in Alicia Garland, tab to title, The Rise of Human Settlements, Neolithic Culture, and Early Agriculture in Central, Asia. And then the journal name, alright, is Journal of Ancient Architecture and Cultural Studies. Years 2015, pages 122 through 145. Medium is the web. Now we also need to include volume 30 and issue 5. So what we want to do is show all bibliography fields. Okay, so we can scroll down and look for volume. So we're going to put in 30 and issue is 5. Okay, and typically the asterisks are what is the mandatory things that you would put in, but occasionally you need to put in some additional information. When you're working with journal articles, volumes and issues, okay, any additional information about that journal is very important. Makes it easier for someone to find for their own research purposes. So we're going to click on OK. Notice we put in Garland. Okay, now if you notice, we've already mentioned Alicia Garland in the article, and we learned earlier that if we mention it in the article that we don't need to mention it in the citation. So we're going to click on Garland, click on the down arrow key, but we do need to include the page number. So we're going to edit the citation, okay, and we're going to add page 142. Alright, and we're going to suppress the author because she's already appeared in the sentence. So we click on OK. And if you notice that the title comes up with the page number, we're going to also have to suppress the title. And if you notice on page 107, okay, number 8, it says you need to suppress both the author's name and the title because otherwise Word will replace the suppressed author's name with the title. Okay, so which it did. So we're going to edit citation, make sure that title's turned off or suppressed, click OK, and we get just the page number. We're going to use the navigation pane this time, okay, to insert our, to get started on our third one. Control F, okay, and we're looking for the Neolithic Societies of Central Asia. Okay, and we just found out what's going on with this, okay, is that when we close the navigation without placing our cursor where it needs to be, that goes back to where the last point and location we were. Okay, so once you get to the location, make sure you place your cursor where you want the next citation. Okay, alright, so we've got that located. Close our navigation. Automatically we've selected to go to our next location. Alright, and this one is also in reference to Alicia, and so we're going to insert citation, and so we want this to select her. Now she's in our list. Okay, we can click on that. Alright, now we also need to we want this to point to the whole book, reference the whole book, so we don't need to put a page number in. So we just leave it with her name. Okay? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in our bibliography, or a list of works cited, as some of you might know. And we're going to put it at the end of our document, which most of you probably know that as well. But to get there, remember, what's the quick way of getting there? Yeah, Control End. So we're going to press Control End. Alright. Now, when you're at that location, alright, we can put in, right now if we started it, we'd start it on page 4, and we want it to start on its own page. Okay, to start a new page, you can do it a couple of ways. The book mentions inserting a new page, inserting a new page by insert and then page break. But the way I do it is you press Control Enter. Okay, that's the shortcut for it. And that automatically creates us another page. Okay, now if you ever insert a new page, okay, let me show you. Turn on your home, go to your home tab, turn on your show hide. Okay, this is what the page break looks like with the codes. Alright, if you ever need to get rid of one, you just click right before the page break and you can press delete. Okay, and that gets rid of your extra page. Okay, so again, if you want to put one in, which we need one, you press Control Enter, and that puts your extra page in. Now, let's talk about your bibliography. Okay, first of all, we've got to generate it. Okay, we're not typing it. Okay, Word's taking care of that. We've put all of the information in that we need to for it to create it. Okay, so if you look on page WD 108 under Generating a Bibliography, you'll notice in the first paragraph about halfway down it says the bibliography itself is a field, similar to the page number field you inserted earlier in this session. In other words, it is really an instruction that tells Word to display the source information for all the citations in the document. Because it is a field and not actually text, you can easily update the bibliography later to reflect any new citations you might add. Okay, so you'll kind of see how this works here in just a minute. Okay, so we're going to insert a bibliography. So we click on bibliography. Notice we've got a bibliography, references, or works cited. Okay, so the one that we're going to actually select, okay, is the works cited. And you'll notice that it's pre-formatted, okay, using the heading 1 style, and then just standard text. Okay. Now if we click inside of it, you'll notice that it is a field. Alright, and we have different options for the field. Okay, we can change it if we need to. We can convert the bibliography to static text, which means just standard text. But the thing is it doesn't automatically update when it's static text. But if you need it a specific way other than what it's listed for, that's how you can make a change to it. Now, but the actual, if you want to update it, like you've added some sources since the last time that you created it, all you have to do is click on Update Citations and Bibliography. Now, if you'll notice that we only have 2 people listed, and does anybody know why? Right, we had 3 citations, but we only had 2 sources. Okay, that was Alicia Garland, and she was used twice, and then we have Roy Barr, all right, which was listed once. Okay, so we don't have to list Alicia twice, okay, unless we're using 2 different sources of hers. Okay. Now, if you need to check it out over on page WD 110, there's an insight on managing sources, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. If you go up to under references and then managing sources, this is where your source manager is. Okay, it's where all of your sources from every document you've created within Word is that you've added. Okay, so like if we've got Roy Barr and Alicia Garland, if you'll notice that both of these we've used citations for, they're checked off. Okay, if we need to delete one, okay, well, you can't delete one if it's actually got a citation being used for it. Okay, you would actually have to remove the citation and then delete it. Okay, but let's say that we did some work for we added in, I have some that's already typed in, Arkansas Department of Education, English Language or Arts, let's say, and then I can copy that over here, okay, to my current list, and then I can use that as a citation if I want to. And also it shows me at the bottom what it would look like. Okay, I actually like using the source manager instead of going through insert citation to add my sources, because it just helps me keep things under, it's easier for me. So if I want to remove Arkansas Department of Education English Language Arts source on this particular project, then I'm going to just highlight it, press delete, and it removes it. Okay. If you need to remove one from your actual master list, just highlight it and then press delete, and it removes it. Okay. So anyway, okay, so the interesting thing is about this lesson is that we also spelt Roy Brower's name incorrectly. Okay, so if you wanted to edit a source in your research paper, okay, we're going to go back up to where Brower's name is, and we could use the Control F to find it. Okay, but I just happen to know where it's at, so I'm going to scroll up. Alright, once I've gotten there, I'm going to click on Brower 37. Okay, and I'm going to click on the citations options, okay, with the down arrow key on the right, and I'm going to edit the source. Okay, now in the authors box, okay, we're going to double click Brower, okay, and it should be spelled B-R-O-W-E-R. So we're going to type that, Brower. And you could edit it however you want to, but this is what you need to end up with, is B-R-O-W-E-R. Okay, then we're going to click on OK. Now it says this source exists in your master list and current document. Do you want to update both lists with these changes? Okay, and if we don't, okay, it'll keep the old spelling. If we do, we say yes, all right, and it makes those changes. And if you go down to your list of works cited, okay, what we need to do is update your bibliography. Okay, so we're going to click on, notice the exclamation point right here. All you have to do is click on that, all right, and it is correctly updated Roy Brower's name. Awesome, huh? I tell you, it makes it so much simpler on creating citations and your bibliography by using this in Word. Okay. Now, over on page WD 112, okay, we need to format the bibliography as an MLA style works cited list. Okay, so we're going to click in the works cited box, or in the heading. Click Home. All right, and we're going to go to the Home tab. All right, and we're going to click on Normal. All right, that changes our text to normal text. All right, we're also going to center it, and we need to select this whole works cited list. All right, and we want to do it a double space, so we can go up to line and paragraph spacing. Change it to double spacing, and also change your point size to 12 points. And it should look like figure 2-37 on page WD 112. Okay? Well, you guys made it. You aced citations and bibliography. And hopefully this will help you so much in working with your essays and your reports and anything else that you need to create that you need to use citations and bibliography. It makes it a lot easier, and in the long run it'll save you much time. Well, thanks, and I hope you have a great day.